Welcome, flower fans. My name is Nancy White. I'm the owner of the Flower Bar in Larchmont, New York. And today we're going to create a beautiful Thanksgiving centerpiece. I've found these really adorable containers. They're pumpkins or squashes, but they don't look like, you know, they're a little bit more subtle. And that's kind of the theme of this arrangement. The trend today is for, instead of really bright, bold colors, to go in a little bit more of a subtle direction. We're going to start with creating our mechanics. And I like to use this chicken wire. You can get this at any hardware store. And I'm just going to, unfortunately, you have to buy a whole big roll of it, but then you have it forever. I'm going to sort of make a ball out of it. And this is, first of all, this is better than using foam because your stems will be directly in water, and also foam is not so great for the environment. But also, and then sometimes we use tape, but the tape, you can't really get your arrangement to sort of be out and as full as you can with the wire. However, you can only use the chicken wire when you have a container that you can't see through, because otherwise you would see the wire and that wouldn't look good. So I've got my wire here, and I have it raised up a little bit because I want my arrangement to be full and so forth. I'm going to start with a little bit of greening. This is called pittosporum. It's what we like to use the most because it's not really in your face. We're not really going to see this. We're going to just use these. We don't want any of the, I'm just taking the leaves off and just creating, I'm just going to create a little bit of a base so that we don't see the chicken wire. And I'm trimming the leaves off of it. You don't want to have any leaves in the water because that promotes bacteria, and the bacteria is what makes your flowers not last as long. That's one reason why people say you should change the water every day to keep your flowers as fresh as possible. I find I don't have to do that. Generally at home, I just make sure that I fill the container with water, fresh water, every day. I don't use flower food. I just think it's because you have to measure it and everything. It's too complicated. And we actually feed all the flowers when they arrive from the farms at the flower bar. And so they really don't need more food. They just need water. And it's important that you keep that water level as high as possible. If you buy flowers from us, they're going to come a little bit not filled to the top because otherwise it's going to spill. So you'll want to always make sure when you receive flowers from a florist that you top up the water when you receive them. Okay, so see, I didn't have to fill the whole thing up. I just wanted to just get a base. All right, now we're going to start with our arrangement. You can see the colors I've picked here. I've got a whole bunch of different kinds of flowers, mostly in the sort of peachy orange tones with some accents of deep reds and burgundies. So one of the things that I really love with flowers this time of year are the mums. And I'm going to just show you, maybe you could get a little bit of a close-up here. You can see these mums. These are not your grandmother's mums. These are, they're called disbud mums. And you can see, like, this is two different varieties of the red mums. And you can see the difference in terms of the size and the way the petals are. They almost look like dahlias. And so they're really like, I call them the dahlia imposters. And I think the colors are so rich and the textures, I think they just really make they create a beautiful arrangement. So I'm going to start with, I want to start to create my shape. So I'm going to start actually with these ilex berries. You probably are familiar with the ilex in the holiday time. They're red, but right now when they're immature, they're in this sort of soft orange, sort of a gold color, And we also will have them in the brighter orange for brighter arrangements. And I just really like them because they have a line to them. And so we can refer to them as a line flower. And I'm having them go from either side. I'm going to use 2. I have an extra one just in case I think I need it, but I don't think I'm going to. So I just put the stems through the chicken wire, and I aim the stems to the center of the container, almost like it's a bullseye or like a pie that you're aiming right to the center of it. And so I've started with this, and then I think I'm going to use some of my roses. So these are called Phoenix roses. They're gorgeous. If you can look at that petal, the shape of those petals, and I mean, they're just stunning. I love the color. We typically use this rose for our peach, but there's another rose we like also called Shimmer, and it's a little more orangey than this rose. But I'm going to use the Shimmer. These are called guard petals. You can take them off or you can leave them on. I happen to think they look really pretty. Sometimes they're really bruised and then I would take them off, but I think that this looks very natural. So I'm going to start with my roses. I'm going to use 3. I'm starting with them because they're kind of like a focal flower, also known as a face flower because they're round. I don't want to make this I want to have depth, and I want to have color taking me all the way around the arrangement. Again, I'm taking those lower leaves off. I don't personally like to have perfect symmetry. It's a centerpiece, so there needs to be interest from all sides, and I think that's a little bit too tall. Always cut it too tall rather than too long, too short. But I want this to have a little bit of a dip to it. Okay, now these roses, these are incredibly stunning. These are called Sahara Sensation, and they have sort of soft pinks and coral and peach. And I just love them. And look at the size of these. These are spray roses, but actually, originally, garden roses were spray roses. And the single roses that you see now have been hybridized and bred to be a single rose so they can be like one stem and have very tall, sturdy stems. So this is, I think, just beautiful. It's very romantic. I love how it just sort of droops. I'm taking off the guard petals because I think they look a little messy. But again, it just sort of depends on what you want to do. So I'm going to have these, I think, on either side, like that. And then I'm going to have the other one. Okay, now I'm going to use some of my stronger color, and that's going to be the mums. So I like having, this is because it's bigger, I'm going to try to tuck this one in a little closer. So it sort of creates a texture. I think a little bit shorter than that. There. And I'll take another one. Okay. And then I'm going to balance it with the other red, which I love. This is just gorgeous. Look how rich and deep that is. shift this one over to this side. Okay, and then I have these bronze mums. And these are smaller, they're ball mums. I don't like them being the same height, so I think I'm going to put this one down. Now, I brought some ranunculus. Ranunculus used to really be a winter and spring flower, but the best rose farm in Ecuador started growing ranunculus in Chile. I'm sorry, not in Chile, in Ecuador, and these are amazing. And I think I brought these just because I wasn't sure if I wanted to have the orange or if I wanted to keep with the sort of the salmon color, and I think I like the salmon color better. And these really add a touch of romance to the arrangement. Keep turning it around so I can see. And then I have this euphorbia. This is a spray euphorbia. I'm not sure I'm going to use it, actually. I think it's too much. I think I am going to use another one of these, though, the ilex. And then, for an accent, I thought it'd be fun to use some of these dried palms. And I was going to put one on each side. Again, to keep your eye going, that sort of long, low. And these, of course, last forever, so you can save them and use them in other arrangements throughout the year or for next Thanksgiving. And then I thought this was really fun. This is called your stipa. And this is also, it's a dried grass. And I just love the texture with it. So I thought I would add some of that as well. I cut one a little shorter than the other. I'm using 4 pieces. I think I want this one to go here. There. I think that's it. I brought some agonis, but I think that's going to be too much. I think it's going to be too much. Okay, here we are. Here's your pumpkin spice centerpiece from the flower bar.